Who's up?
Okay, David, we have Paul on line 8, and we've talked to him before. He's an ex-police officer, and now he's back on the force.
Paul.
Hello.
I remember that voice.
Yes.
You were so angry. Wait a second. This was, what, 8 months ago?
Yes, sir.
8 months ago. Let me just think. Paul. You were afraid of ripping people out of cars and pummeling them in a outside of a 7-Eleven.
That's correct.
Okay, I remember you. Go ahead.
Well, I think your advice was for me to, move away, get away from the streets, and I couldn't. I mean, I missed the streets. I know that sounds odd.
No, it doesn't.
But I missed being a cop. And I thought also that it would help me control...
Facing the beast?
Excuse me?
Facing the beast.
Yeah. It would help me control my temper. It would help me control the violent outburst, if you will.
You went back?
Yes, sir.
What's happened?
I've become more violent than before. And even though the streets, it does things to you. I mean, you feel that you can make a difference out there, but you see so much death and a heartache, and I don't know, you think you can make a difference, but yet you don't. But yet it's like a drug for me.
How? What is it that you're pulled to?
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's because I can be violent and I can get away with it. Sometimes I think it's because I do care and I try to help people.
You can be violent and get away with it.
Yes, sir.
Expound on that, please.
Well, I responded to a 415 family not too long ago.
What is that?
The family disturbance.
Okay.
And this individual got in my face, and I hurt him. And I thought I might be terminated for it. I wasn't.
You were open about reporting it?
Excuse me?
You were open about reporting it?
Yes, I mean, it was clear.
Okay.
Because I had to make a report because this individual was injured.
And you denied nothing?
I told him that I injured him. I told him that it was in self-defense.
Was it?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
And after that, it was almost as if, I mean, I felt really good about it. I mean, this guy was a scumbag. He had just beaten a woman. And I felt like I had done something right. You know, it's like finding a child molester and just putting a bullet in him, putting him away. System ain't going to take care of him. So, I believe sometimes I can help because the system does nothing.
But you're putting yourself in the position of the jury.
Yes, I am.
And of executioner, prisoner, and jailer.
Yes. And finally I went to one of many homicides, and I found a young 12-year-old boy lying in an alley. He had been repeatedly stabbed. And we found the suspects who did it, and they were all from ages from, well, I'd say 12 to 16 years of age. And they had smiles on their face, as if they had just killed a turkey for Thanksgiving. And I remember looking down at this boy, and I had already found out from his screaming grandmother that he was from New Mexico. He'd never been in a gang in his life, but he looked like it to them. And they had smiles on their faces. This one had a smirk. They didn't care about going to jail because they knew they'd be out in a few. And the hatred was so powerful that I almost lost it. Watching this young man die, I've seen a lot of death, but this one really hit me hard. And I realized then that maybe that's why I'm calling you tonight, that I am really close. And I just don't know what to do. I mean,
What stopped you?
a couple of my partners.
Oh, you were ready to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you remove your weapon?
I unsnapped it.
And the response on their face when you did that?
Their smile went away.
And the sense that went over you as that happened?
Wasn't enough.
You wanted?
I wanted to put them away. I mean, I just wanted to dump them. I knew that they were...
Was your hand on your weapon?
Yes.
Were you drawing it?
No.
Were you about to?
If his face wouldn't have cleared from that smile, I would have dumped him. Because I kept looking at him, and he had just the victim had just took his last breath. And I was standing in his blood. And it didn't matter anymore. I mean, I love my family. I don't want to be on their side, but it almost didn't, nothing mattered. Just his face.
Okay. At what point did you decide to call me again?
It was after that incident.
Okay. At what moment did the thought cross your mind, I've got to call Dr. Viscott?
A couple days later, I knew that I was beyond, almost out of control.
When did that thought occur to you? In what circumstance?
Getting back in my unit after briefing and going out into the streets, knowing that I felt like I was out for my prey, wanting something to go wrong, wanting some scumbag maybe to rape some woman, or to catch some dirtball in the act of a crime and just dump him, get it over with, kind of help out the justice system. And I knew that that's not reality.
But it's become your reality.
Yes.
And therefore, it's become our reality.
Yes.
Okay. Isn't that the sad part? Because the truth is, it's making you into a killer. And when you become the thing you hate, how do you stop yourself?
I don't know.
That's the scary part. How do you tell the difference? That you have a better reason?
That's it. I mean, I know what my objectives are. I mean, I know what I want to do.
Well, you want to rid the world of scum.
Yes.
But this is the hard part. There's a scum part of yourself that's getting stirred up. That's what's killing you.
How do you mean?
Well, the desire to do that and to give into it is also giving into the same force that they gave into to commit the crime, albeit from another reason.
But isn't my reason more valid?
Are you to be the judge of that too?
I think we all are. I think it's become in law enforcement, it has become an 8-hour-a-day job, or 10, or whatever the OT is. It has become numb. Officers look down at a child laying there with pieces of him gone because the old man was drunk, or a boy stabbed or shot to death. Oh well. And it's getting to the point where the justice system doesn't care anymore.
What if the boy who was smirking and laughing at you was someone who had never killed anyone and pretended during this melee to be one of the perpetrators just so he wouldn't be stabbed by the other members of the gang?
Well, I could tell he was a perp just because he had blood all over him.
Maybe he purposely put it. Maybe he was clever enough to hide it by getting himself covered with it to show that he was one of them.
Well, I believe, though, that birds of a feather flock together.
But I've spoken to young boys who are in gangs who have done nothing, who have faked the crimes that they've been accused of just to keep from being beaten up, who don't know how to get out of it. I mean, those kids exist as well. You can't deny it. I mean, I've spoken to them.
That's true, but it could also get them killed in many different ways.
That's right, but is it for you to be the one who extinguishes that hope in another person because you read them wrong?
No.
You see, you're doing something that is so wrong that it's causing you to doubt your own goodness.
That's not what I took the job for, you're right.
That's right. And you should quit. It's time. You're ready to go. And the truth is that you'll do 20 years. Because you're going to do it in a time where people are very hostile to police action, where the Rodney King trial is going to show a lot of people on the force having taken on a new responsibility to stand up. And there'll be people like the person who restrained you the other night saying, I knew he was ready to go. And they'll say, why didn't you do something about it? It's time to take yourself out of the streets. The truth is, you can't manage it anymore.
It's funny how people look at a situation like the Rodney King. They look at him as the only victim.
Oh, we're all victims.
Every officer there has had so many people like him get in his face, evading arrest, and a little bit of provoking. It's not right, but it can set you off.
Right, but why should you be the next one?
No, I don't want to be.
Then you have to quit. Take yourself out. You need a leave of absence. You need to do it now.
How do you do it?
You stop. You say you need a leave of absence. It's all getting to you. You're afraid you're going to go off. Now,
you can't tell your superiors that. They think you're going 5150 and you're gone.
But the truth is, maybe you have. That's what you're calling about. 5150 is not fit, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. But when you're ready to kill, at the drop of a leaf, as a soldier on the front lines waiting for the enemy will see a leaf fall and turn around and fire 10 shots with his automatic weapon into it.
I don't know. Like I said, I've been kicking it around in my head. I want to get into something else, and I had the opportunity.
Maybe you should be the one who starts the organization for police officers who have no other place to turn to, who cannot go to their supervisors, who need counseling, who need someone to talk to. It's almost like being Police Officers Anonymous, if you know what I mean.
Oh, and there's a few. There's a few that
I know.
feel just like I do.
I know.
Because the system is getting so worse than it was years ago, as far as keeping the bad guy where he's supposed to be, that there's a lot of cops trying to do it themselves.
But doesn't that mean that the bad guy role has just switched?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't feel that way. I feel that...
I know, but the law has something to say about that.
But the law has to do its job. If it doesn't, if it keeps letting children be hurt, women raped, and look at it as, well, you know...
But what you're doing is making the law seem tougher, not more just. And that is not a way to change it or to get sympathy.
Don't you think that would send a message to the bad guy? A few of them get dumped and maybe they get the message.
This isn't a Charles Bronson movie. This is your life, pal. And you know what? You're calling because you need permission to quit tonight. Paul, I told you 8 months ago. Your time has come round at last. Next time you'll be on the other side of the docket, and your friends will be testifying against you. Don't make it happen. We'll be right back. David Viscott.